two meetings between the Fever and Liberty. Pushing pace here for Indiana. Related the Liberty get 11 from downtown, and that one. And
the meat and potatoes has to be inside.
Three. Continue. Clark picks up her dribble there. Has to get it against Chicago. As first Commissioner's Cup game for the New York Liberty. Ionescu goes baseline and late
on all offseason.
And you could see, look inside to Benijah Laney Hamilton. Passing a great look from Laney Hamilton.
More and more with, they can hit threes and they're tough.
On 6 made field goals.
Like that makes them go lateral.
Highest in WNBA the first 2 times these teams have met. Point forward, she takes the top of the keys to her craft. Inside on the paint.
Player joining their team. And don't forget Diddy alone.
They're still looking for their first win.
Go on things.
Courtney Van Dup, a long one.
Base.
Benijah Laney had the same journey as Clark. Dial record as we head back down to Tina.
Is the game I love. I'm so lucky to play. I just always put things in perspective.
And from our video standpoint, for me, for the Indiana Fever,
it was also a great.
But I think bigger than that, they got to work. 2 teams are in different places.
In 34 straight, gets it up to Kennedy Burke, and she lays it up to the game in the locker room. As to your point, that excuse me, in the bubble, in the first 2 games against Indiana, she also.
And so Niara Sabally bench establishing roles.
And Burke in France. Thornton, she's feeling it from her last game.
Level for Kayla Thornton with the Liberty.
Seeing here the last 2 games especially.
The Boston to be a leader for there's so much conversation walking out the tunnel with her. Who's picking her up?
Here.
That's a lot.
Erica Wheeler, the veteran for the Liberty. So let's see if they can have a Kalia Copper got onto this season.
Taking all the shots, and she stays with it.
Just another incredible.
That have been in this league for a long time. That just don't work here.
Struggling, that's how they got you. And be losing, how to keep your bit of perspective.
Benijah Laney Hamilton get her.
And a nice 2-player.
She said.
Plays you thought were open in college.
At the university. Jones into the paint. That was nice look from Sloot to Laney. Hamilton gives it back. And
there's chemistry now to go away. Who was shopping for furniture?
It is a lot. And to your point. So
excellent point.
It's that togetherness. And this season, the Liberty hit the ground run. Corner to Laney.
I do think the moment was big and a great learn. They're going to crush it.
Yeah, we saw a thing you need to know about the.
So should the
Kelsey.
As opposed to Sandy Brandello, she's got a more.
There's Ionescu from the wing to the bench as well.
Do the talking and set the culture for the team. The Fever were able to come out.
Ionescu puts it off the window, no good, but Jones is
tone-setting stats. For Stewie in particular.
Definitely is, as Mitchell trying to answer, and it rattles around. Here's Kennedy Burke in the corner.
They've got to get it together here.
Eric gets right back to Mitchell for another. Caitlin Clark and the 4th overall. Burke keys it up, does not put it in, but right. Liberty could hold for 1 here. Laney Hamilton off the win.
So it's like each quarter.
2nd and 3rd have been start, and they finished. It is the Commissioner's Cup. That will span from June 1st to June. And she connects on the
in the middle of the season, and it was against the Aces. The second half.
As Melissa, the Liberty point differential in the first quarter to be an issue as Benijah Laney.
Where the Fever were able to score, we feel like, okay, we got this.
See it. She does that first quarter with 3. Smith, nice bullet pass inside.
Her feet and conditioning under herself.
In the first half, and 3.
A sloppy start to the second half.
That timeout as Jonquel Jones has a turnover. And now.
Stumble, but no.
From Sandy Brandello.
It changes strategically or close the gap so you don't lose.
Learning to play when you're down. And this is the benefit of having a coach.
I did not have that on my. Of everyone else, go for it.
Let's look inside from Sloot to Ionescu. Van in the first quarter, we're workshopping. This lead back up to 20. Has gotten after it. Things down, it's Laney. Good ball movement here by Indiana. Nice look inside. 2-woman, 14 to 2 run.
I understood the term. Faux native. Between the next game. I think at
it is Burke dials it up, and 4 or 5 from the field. Burke with Lou Samuelson over to Wheeler. A little out of control trying to save. Now down to 2, Lainey Hamilton forced it. 12 points off the bench.
Biggest keys to the season is the emergence.
Making your last 8 shots.
Who are MVPs of league stars, waiting for them.
That's why you see so much synergy. We talked about the European MVP. Clark got caught up at the top and
As a really great defense.
Double digits with 9 points.
She's so excellent. She's found.
I think she is able to gets into the paint, puts it up.
Birthday Ellie early. It's the players and Ellie. Games for Ellie.
Unlimited.
Yep.
Media relations. Game 2, the A game, as Katie Lou, very low maintenance in the morning.
Starting 5, head of PR.
All the time. Steps back, takes the jumper, no team points.
You know, it was John also staying on the court.
Kayla Thornton wing point of Jonquel Jones.
So Jonquel Jones helped close out games. Offensive threat, especially on the end.
About the way the team's playing and a little no-look sometimes, and she just next for us.
Tina
Harder, you run with your head and hands up. That is what they want to do. In
violation on New York, so it'll be a team that's looking for quote-unquote
completely team
Wednesday against Phoenix. This is Ionescu gets her own miss, puts it up. Ionescu now with 15.
Strengthening single and individual.
On track. Thrust into that seat.
There was that kind of viral moment. You know, how many times has there been where Caitlin Clark's been knocked down? It's a player. Now you look at the team for the Fever, you know, someone.
You brought up this point in the first half after this season, so you put that all.
She's 22. I mean, never heard her say, boy, this is hard. I might have shed a little.
It's only her 3rd year, and now she has her 2nd. Bigger minutes later in the season.
Leaders are empathetic leaders. He was immediately injured.
Daughters, and as Stewie can't get.
He had a target on her back, just like Caitlin Clark. Look what it's done. Look how it's
back to back. But going back to what you were talking, her first season in 2020 in the bubble
was locker room, gifted them sneakers, playing against each other. But postseason, so I absolutely
and help each other. It helps the league in the WNBA. And Ivana Dojkic, who
team interested in the finals, should be able to.
Social media after 2 quick 30-game season, and you have the squad. And we've Phoebish tries it again, and one was against this Indiana squad as we put up 102 points. Worldwide, the Liberty 104. Ionescu tried to poach the passing lane there. It gets right back to Mitchell for another scorer in NCAA history here in Caitlin Clark, and the 4th overall.
Just to close out the quarter.
Berg. Clark gets in the passing lane, lays it up, does not put it in, but right.
Allowed them to cut into the lead a bit.
Liberty could hold for 1 here. Lainey Hamilton off the win.
Championship this year. The Liberty are. So it's like each quarter over games over quarters.
2nd and 3rd have been. Roz, to your point, they get out to the quick start. And they finished as we begin 3rd quarter play here. It is the Commissioner's Cup. That's conference teams that will span from June 1st to June. Vandersloot now gets it out to Smith, and she connects on the
opportunity to win some money and have a trophy in the middle of the season, but can hold on to tangible into the rest of the season. And it was against the Aces.
Half.
Okay, I don't like the way they're starting this second half.
As Melissa this up at the end of the 1st quarter, we saw the Liberty point differential in the 1st quarter. Now, in the 3rd, remain to be an issue as Benijah Laney.
Right. Those 2 miscues that where the Fever were able to score, and when things are getting a little icky, you feel like, okay, we got this.
With 3 to shoot here, does Christy Wallace see it? She does. Stewart, who was in some foul trouble in that 1st quarter with 3. Good hustle there by Smith. Nice bullet pass in.
Injury needed some time to get her feet and conditioning under herself.
6 turnovers for the Liberty in the 1st half and 3-16.
Lethargic and sloppy start to the 2nd half for not taking advantage of that.
And coming out of that timeout as Jonquel Jones has a blitz on Caitlin Clark, leading to a turnover. And now.
I thought maybe you had a stumble, but no.
So out of the timeout from Sandy Brondello.
Ionescu at shoot-around today, she said, it changes strategically. As many points as you can, or close the gap so you don't lose.
Learning to play with the lead, learning to play when you're down.
And all the way through.
And this is the benefit of having a coach.
Oh, it's different right now. I did not have that on my. Everybody who's on the court for the Liberty, of everyone else, go for it.
Kind of the same play. Nice look inside from Sloot to Ionescu. Producer Joel Kate with the assist. Van workshopping. We were saying that in the first quarter. We're workshopping stuff. And they have ballooned this lead back up to 20. Delo's squad has gotten after it. Liberty slow things down. It's Laney. Gets around Jonquel Jones. Good ball movement here by Indiana. Nice look inside. Two-woman NATO since 14 to 2 run.
Rehearse some of these.
It's like
terms.
Sharknado, you know?
I understood the term. A sea foam NATO. 5 days off between the next game. I think at
practicing's the biggest part of it as Burke dials it up. And she's 2 for 2 from downtown, 4 or 5 from the field. Burke gives it up to Boston. Katie Lou Samuelson over to Wheeler. Had a steal, just a little out of control trying to save in that same spot, but couldn't corral it. Now down to 2, Laney Hamilton forced it. 22. Not the case today for the Liberty. 12 points off the bench.
I think these are some of the biggest keys to the season is the emergence.
Making your last 8 shots.
Brondello these are players who are MVPs of league stars. It's an entirely different system and role waiting for them.
That's why you see so much synergy with Sixth Sense. We talked about the European MVP, the starters, 3 to shoot here. Clark got caught up at the top and
improved over the course of the year and ended as a really great defense.
Vandersloot, the only starter not in double digits with 9 points.
But she's found, because she's so excellent, she's found.
That is such a great point. I think she is able to here. Kayla Thornton gets into the paint, puts it up. That's June 9th.
Wow, happy birthday, Ellie, early. Fashion, fit, walk-ins. It's the players and Ellie. Her budget is. It's all brand names for Ellie.
Unlimited.
Oh, yes.
In Liberty PR.
Yep.
Media relations. He's bringing his suit game to the A game as Katie Lou. Very low maintenance in the morning.
On top of it, definitely a starting 5 head of PR.
All that is. To Burke, now Kayla Thornton steps back, takes the jumper, no 12th rebound, and she has 18 points.
You know, it was the importance of establishing the paint and also staying on the court. They do.
Kayla Thornton wing Washington, and it was because, to your point, of Jonquel Jones.
For sure. And also Jonquel Jones helped close out games. Rebounding, defensive, and offensive threat, especially on the end.
And in just talking to Jonquel about the way the team's playing, and that, especially Sabrina, the way she does those little no-looks sometimes, and she just, you know, we know that a good shot is also coming next for us.
Tina,
ball could come your way. You run harder. You run with your head and hands up. Is to win this championship. That is what they want to do.
That was a defensive 3-second violation on New York, so it'll be the selflessness. This is not a team that's looking for quote-unquote walking about.
This is completely team.
In the games this week, Wednesday against Phoenix. And they were able to hang on and win both of those as Ionescu gets her own miss, puts it up. 35 made field goals. Ionescu now with 50.
Work she put in on strengthening single and individual
to get this team back on track. And she's kind of thrust into that still learning herself.
Right. You know, there was that kind of viral moment, and then they gave each other high five. You know, how many times has there been tiff on the court or Caitlin Clark's been knocked down? It's you know, this is still a second-year player. And then you look at the team for the Fever, you know, some of the field goal percentage is terribly down.
And you brought up this point in the first half of who they are and who they drafted this season. So you put that all.
You know, Caitlin Clark, she's 22. I mean, for her credit, she's never complained. I've never heard her say, boy, this is hard. Too, I might have complained. I might have shed a little.
And It's only her third year on Friday night against Washington, and now she has her second. Gave her a nice message in her ear.
Yeah.
On your craft and build up to maybe bigger minutes later in the season.
You know, there's an empathy. I think great leaders are empathetic leaders. Into the WNBA wasn't perfect. She was immediately injured.
Vanessa Bryant brought her daughters, and moment two we saw recently as Stewie can't get
years because she had a target on her back just like Caitlin Clark, all up and down the floor. So look what it's done. Look how it's
Commissioner Cup play with a back-to-back. But going back to what you were talking, and Tina made this point, her first season in 2020 in the bubble.
Or Sabrina actually came and visited Iowa's locker room, gifted them sneakers. During the season, it's a little hard because they're playing against each other, but postseason could be similar. And Ethlyn and would like to be there for her. So I absolutely
league, and if you work with each other and help each other, it helps the league. Still looking for her first field goal in the WNBA. Burke and Phoebish and Ivana Dojkic, who entered.
This is what a team interested in the finals should be able to.
You know, you go on social media after too quick. You have to take a step back in a 40-game season, and you have really the linchpin of this New York Liberty squad. And we've a minute to play here in Brooklyn. Phoebish tries it again and season with 100 points. The other one was against this Indiana squad, as of course on May 16th, where the Liberty put up 102 points. Streetwear retailers worldwide, the Liberty 104.